This is where our epic Karate Kid adventure begins. Alright, so get this. This little man named Dre Parker is having the case of the blues because not only did he lose his dad in the gas station buying ciggies, but it looks like he and his mom are about to move out to guess where? The land of the sleeping giant. Dre and his mother, Sherry Parker, bid their farewells to their family and friends. This is gonna be a tough break for little old Dre. Moving always harms the kids, so already at the plane, it's apparent Dre doesn't want to go because, let's face it, Mandarin is such a chaotically hard language to learn.
Ni hao mao.
His mom forces him to ask this rando the phrase they're studying in Mandarin, and what do you know? The dude's from Detroit. After the bewildering 13-hour flight, they finally landed. Welcome to the land of Tiananmen Square, specifically Beijing. Someone picks them up and they land in their bootleg Beverly Hills apartment. Like any moving parent, Sherry forces this toxic positivity on Dre about the move, but here comes a Western kid named Harry. He befriends Dre and even helps them move their luggage. Once they get their stuff in, Dre gets comfy with some SpongeBob, Chinese SpongeBob too. Dre's jet lagged, but they can't sleep now because new problem, the shower's broken. So Dre needs to find the maintenance man. Trust me, for a little kid not to know any of the local language is sure to have a hard time. Luckily, he does find Mr. Han, but man, he gives him the silent treatment. No use in barking up the wrong tree. Dre, just head on over to the park. There he meets Harry in China, shoots some hoops too, so it's game time. Well, he immediately overshoots and whoops. Hey man, jet lag.
You got some jet lag, so.
That girl's beginning to take notice of Ping Pong Dre over here, so he tries to show his stuff with these old folks. Kid's got spunk, but he doesn't know what's coming to him because this old fart just wipes the floor with him.
I'm 12.
According to Harry, that old coot has never lost to anybody. Looks like Dre's got a little crush on that violinist girl, so he moxies up to talk to her. Of course, his Mandarin is more broken than their shower, so he messes it up. Plus point for comedy though.
Shu Shen Muji.
And apparently she does know English. Dre tries to impress her with some good old pop and lock, but this dude isn't too impressed with both of them. This dude's trouble, and there's more where that came from. He pummels Dre with some quick strikes that resemble a snake, maybe even a cobra. Dre's embarrassed for life, so he goes home and rests for the night. The next day, looks like Dre got a black eye, so he's gonna mask it with some makeup, and it looks like he's headed for school with his mom. The two book it for school, and Dre tries to get rid of his mom, but no luck. Even worse luck is when they meet Mrs. Pong, the principal of this joint. Actually, she's not the problem. What's behind her is the problem. It's those kids with the kung fu magic. Soon, Dre's secret is revealed, but he manages to shimmy it off by making the excuse of running into a pole. Sure, buddy, sure.
Okay.
So far in school, Dre's having an okay day, up until lunch where he struggles with some chopsticks. Not to worry, because that violin girl from before, yeah, Mai Ying, is here to lend a helping hand. Mai Ying also says that the dude that beat him up is not her boyfriend.
Well, he definitely likes you.
But their parents are close. Well, he's territorial, I can tell you that. The first day of school passes and it's not too shabby for Dre. So he heads home and tries to learn some karate moves. But look who showed up. It's Mr. Han. Safe to say that Mr. Han is weirded out by TV taught karate, but he gets to work. He needs a word with Dre, but he's just too loud. So he expertly flicks him with a toothpaste cap. Man, that's some accuracy.
Did you just hit me?
Apparently, the hot water is fine, so he gets to fixing the door instead. Sherry comes home and, well, Dre couldn't even hang his jacket right. Come on, man, it's just a jacket. But enough of jackets. It's Dre's second day at school, and it troubles him that he has to actively dodge Chang and his boys. This is fate, however, because this leads him to Mei Ying's beautiful violin practice. A tot-tot. Not quite to Terrence Fletcher's temple, however, because she's getting scolded by her instructor. Dre does try to cheer her up, but she's got some of that Asian parent pressure on her because she's apparently going to try out for the Beijing Academy of Music. Once the instructor is back, Dre books it, while Mei Ying is left with a smile on her face. Dre won't smile about this next bit though, because lo and behold, he meets Chang and the boys. Dre tries to ignore him, but Chang gives him one warning to stay away from them.
Gonna do something?
Including Mei Ying. At least they didn't make him run into another pole this time. It's been a tough week for Dre, so he and his mom finally go out to town. What Dre sees next will totally bewilder him because it's a large pack of kids doing uniform kung fu. Dre takes a good look at their student, and uh-oh, his buddy Chang is here. So day ruined. Dre quickly bounces away with his mom, and instead of giving her the truth, he tells her the other truth. Dre is madly homesick. Dre wants to go home, but Sherry knows that isn't possible anymore.
Your
is nothing left for us.
Just like the original, Mr. Han overhears the two arguing. Enough arguing. Time for Tiananmen Square, a place where totally nothing happened. There's the glorious Chairman Mao, and the kids are taken to this fantastic field trip. Dre is amazed by the architectural work of this place. Then Mei Ying suddenly pops out of nowhere and says that rubbing the door will bring good luck. Well, he better rub as much as he can because across from them, Chang is staring daggers at them. This makes Dre back off, and he was given a chance to snitch to Mrs. Pong, but he's no narc. Luckily, another day passes and he doesn't get a beating, but Dre gets a little sneaky and spies on Chang and his boys. Dre goes from sneaky to wet because he lobs dirty water at Chang's gang, and the chase is on. Dre tries to lose them with a bunch of obstacles and even makes his way to his home, but Chang and the boys are just too dang good. Eventually, he's cornered like a dog and beaten like one too. One of Chang's boys tries to stop him from overdoing it.
Not fast enough.
But like the Cobra Kai mantra says, no weakness, no pain, no mercy. Before the final blow is struck, here comes Mr. Han to save Dre's sorry hide. He just wants to tend to Dre, but Chang doesn't let him. So full-on fight breaks out. Notice how Mr. Han is using his fighting skills defensively, and he's never on the initial offense. He even takes them on against all odds. This old man's got a lot of fight in him, so he convinces these kung fools to buzz off. Tending to Dre's wounds, Mr. Han uses some mystical healing using liberal flames, and guess what? Just like that, Dre's all better. Yup, thanks to some quack healing.
I thought you were just a maintenance man.
Impressed with Mr. Han's dance moves, Dre gets curious and asks where he learned those. Mr. Han says he learned it from his father, and he only uses it defensively. Weird idea, but hey, let's all go to their teachers since they taught these kids how to be thugs. I was just being sarcastic. But Dre and Mr. Han goes to the Kung Fu school anyways. They're right in the middle of a brutal lecture. Then Chang snitches that it was Mr. Han who attacked him. Mr. Han only wants to make peace with them, and despite being the ones assaulted, Master Li doesn't let them leave until one of them fights Chang. One way out here, a Xiaolin showdown, specifically one on the Kung Fu tournament. Here's the stakes. No one touches Dre until the tournament, and if he doesn't show up, both he and Mr. Han will get a face full of fists. That went well. So Mr. Han breaks it down to Dre, and oh boy, he's got a lot on his plate. The good news is, wax in, wax off time. Dre's obviously excited, so the next Saturday he skates his way to Mr. Han's real place.
Yes!
Once he's there, he tries to woo Mr. Han with some half-baked jiu-jitsu and capoeira moves. Of course, the only thing he impresses is gravity by breaking this vase. Alright, so Mr. Han shows the zoomer version of wax in, wax off, but with Dre's raggedy jacket. They do this repeatedly for days on end. Back to school, it seems like everyone knows Dre is in the Kung Fu tournament, even Mei Ying. Ironically, this lands him a date. Real smooth, buddy. Now it's time for some Kung Fu practice with Mr. Han, but he sneaks his jacket away. Mr. Han is sharp, so he already knows this and asks him to get it. They get to practicing, and it seems that Dre is demotivated. Cheer up, Dre, because here comes your mom with some festival tickets. Mr. Han gets to go too.
Pick up your jacket.
And wowzers, it's really crowded. Dre then meets up with Mei Ying, gives her some date gifts, and the show starts. Safe to say that Sherry and Mr. Han are attending the same show on the other side as well. The date seems to go pretty well because Mei Ying pinky swears to be there for Dre. Alright, mushy stuff aside, it's back to the boring old business of jacket off, down, and on. Finally, Dre cracks and he calls quits. You're just at the beginning, Sheo Dre, because Mr. Han finally reveals what his grueling routine is for. Apparently, and surprisingly, the simple gesture of putting a jacket on and off has given Dre some Kung Fu muscle memory. All this time, he was practicing the foundational moves. Dre and Mr. Han test out Dre's savvy new moves, and Mr. Han reveals that Kung Fu can be found in everything, even something as boring as putting on your jacket.
I would take off the jacket.
Convinced, the two take the train to go on some far land to learn about Qi. It's the essence of life, and learning about this mumbo-jumbo should help Dre with his Kung Fu. They're here, and apparently, this is where Mr. Han grew up and learned Kung Fu. They're gonna climb to the tomb of the Dragon Well. Sounds fancy? Well, save that impression for later because it's gonna be a long climb. After facing Po's greatest enemy, the two make it to the top of this monastery where Dre sees a lot of martial arts experts. After he bides his time being blown away by the practitioners of Kung Fu, they finally reach the infamous Dragon Well.
It's a magic Kung Fu water.
Mr. Han says that the water from the dragon well is magic, so all he has to do is drink from it and he'll be unstoppable. Wow, they should serve that in Gatorade bottles. Sheo Dre then talks about the woman with the cobra, and Mr. Han says that's his first sighting of Chi. Soon they begin their training, starting with focus and these two bamboo staff. After a long day of screen-cut training, Mr. Han takes Dre home and into bed. Afterwards, Dre begins talking about the focus thing really seriously now. While his focus is ramping up, so is his kung fu training with Mr. Han. He's really building up some serious moves and serious muscles right about now, so he earns himself a break. He picks up on this at school, and since Mei Ying has been stressed out about the audition, he convinces her to catch a break too. In fact, they cut school to do it. They eat some fried insects and make a beeline for the arcades. Dre got moves to show, but Mei Ying isn't too far behind. Speaking of far behind, plot twist, the music audition is now today.
It was changed to today.
So Mei Ying hauls her hide, but Dre follows her in secret. I swear, the audition is just full of snooty old farts. Then Mei Ying makes it just in time. Dre is quite close behind, and he makes it just in time to watch Mei Ying's beautiful symphony. Dre comes to congratulate her, but uh-oh, discrimination just entered the door. What started out as a good day for Dre ended up into hot garbage. Same goes for Mr. Han, because he begins wrecking his own car.
What are you doing?
The reason being is it's the anniversary of the car accident of Mr. Han's wife and kid. Safe to say that they did not make it. Mr. Han really gets worked up about their passing, and he actually does this every year. He fixes the car, then wrecks it on purpose to mourn for the loss of his family. Dre comforts Mr. Han by letting him train him. It looks like Mr. Han has finally cheered up and even helped Dre with his style and grace for martial arts. This is an understatement, because the next thing you know, the two are training in the Great Wall. Dre's reflexes and muscle skill has begun to take their final form. He even learns discipline to train on his own. Despite this, Mei Ying continues to ignore her, and I swear, Asian parents' teachings are outdated and self-destructive.
We can no longer be friends.
Regardless, Kung Fu has Dre's full attention as he strives more and more with his training. He even begins to beat Mr. Han at his own challenges. That's right, folks, this is his eye of the tiger moment. The two then take a visit to the tournament ring, and Mr. Han says whether he wins or he loses, he should fight hard. That alone should garner him respect. Well, before respect, he garners this present from Mr. Han, his very own Kung Fu uniform. Safe to say that the boy has become really attached to Mr. Han now, and they hug it out. One last favor for Mr. Han. He actually helps Dre apologize in Chinese to Mei Ying and her father. Her father retains an honorable family, so he accepts, and they'll be there at his tournament. Things are patched up now, and with one last kick, it's tournament time. The crowd is wilding, but Sherry, Mei Ying, and her family are here to ensure that Dre stays motivated. On the opposite side, we have the bootleg Cobra Kai, and primarily Chang. He's already fired up to punch a hole or two into Dre. Dre's a bit nervous, and adding to this is the fact that he only learns the rules now. Don't fret, just don't get hit them back, and win twice. That's all there is to it. Enough rules. Time for the fist test. Dre runs off the first 2 times, but after that bout, he manages to finally fight back. Breathe in, Dre, and breathe out the fury. His first win.
From now on, semi-final matches.
Don't celebrate yet, because the fake Cobra Kai is also giving it their all. The two rivals are beginning to decimate the competition and climb the ranks. After a staggering montage of kicks and punches, Dre makes it to the semi-finals. This is now a whole different ballgame, because now they need 3 points to advance. Time for Dre to pull out all the stops. Alright, to catch up as well, this bootleg Goku-looking kid named Wu Ping has also made it to the semifinals. Let's hope Winnie the Pooh is watching this match, because it's gonna be brutal between him and Chang. The two take their honorable bows, but nothing honorable comes afterwards when they start hurling blows at each other. As brutish as Wu Ping is, Chang is much more brutal. Time for Dre's turn. He's against bootleg Cobra Kai's own Liang. Fighters are at the ready, and let's rock. A low blow immediately comes out of Liang because he dislocates Dre's leg. He's disqualified, but at what cost? Even the doctor says he's done. Roll credits. Hold it, we're not done. Dre begs him to do his mystical fire healing. Dre's no doctor, but he needs the healing because he still has something to prove. Just like that, it's still on. Get the popcorn out, because it's final boss time. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. The flag is dropped and the two start slow. So Chang tests the waters. No matter how graceful his dodges are, Dre takes the fall. That's one. Alright, that's it. Dre busts it out and the next point goes to him. Next round, also the next point to Dre. He's gonna win. So Master Lee offers Chang one piece of sick advice: no mercy. The next round comes and Chang aims for his injured leg. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Despite this, Dre gets up. With the final round at hand, Dre brings out the Cobra technique. The flag drops, and so does Dre's foot on Chang's face. That kick earns a lot of respect for him, and Dre takes home the championship. Even the bootleg Cobra Kai pay their respects to both Mr. Han and Dre. Pick up that jacket because that's it for The Karate Kid, directed by Harold Zwart, starring Jackie Chan, Jaden Smith, and Zen Wai Wang. What part did you start pumping your fist in the air? Let us know in the comments below using #CinemaRecap, and we'll see you at the next sparring lesson.